Matching sentence endings questions are tricky if you don't have a strategy for solving them. These questions are hard because it's often not clear which sentence ending is best, and they take a lot of time to solve. If you want to know how to solve matching sentence endings questions quickly, this video is for you. By the end of this video, you will have a strategy that enables you to find the correct answers fast. By the way, guys, if you're going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There, I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high-scoring answers. And of course, we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link to the IELTS materials in the description box. And now, let's get started. Let's have a look at the matching sentence endings question. This is the passage. And here is the question. The question says, complete each sentence with the correct ending A to F from the box below. Write the correct letter A to F in boxes 1 to 4 on your answer sheet. Not all letters will be used. As you can see, the question includes several sentences that are not complete. These are numbered 1, 2, 3, and so on. Then there is a box with the list of sentence endings. These have letters next to them. Your goal is to join the parts of the sentences together so that they make complete sentences that are true based on the text. Notice that there are more sentence endings than sentence beginnings, so you won't use all of the sentence endings. There are a few important points to know in order to solve these questions well. First, you should know that the answer choices are all found in the text somewhere. Therefore, don't spend a lot of time reading them at the start of the question. Instead, focus on understanding the first half of each sentence. Second, it's really important to know that the answer is a letter. For example, if the sentence ending you choose is hindered by damage from illegal activities, do not write that on the answer sheet. If you do, you will get the question wrong. That's a really horrible reason to lose points because you know the correct answer. You simply don't get the points because you wrote the sentence ending instead of the letter. Therefore, you must write a letter such as A as the answer. Now, let's talk about a strategy to solve this kind of question, since there is a lot of information to sort. Begin by reading the sentences and predicting the answers. Don't go through all of the answers together. Rather, focus on them one at a time. Let's look at the first sentence starter. When it was first developed, LiDAR technology was. Make sure you understand the sentence. It's saying what happened at the start when LiDAR technology was made. Let's have a look at the passage. The first sentence talks about LiDAR technology. It explains what LiDAR technology is, namely light detection and ranging, and says that meteorologists were among the first to use LiDAR because the remote sensing technology was extremely well suited for monitoring storm surges and inundation patterns. Now, try to predict an answer based on the things you remember from reading the text. That helps you focus on the correct answer. You may remember it was related to the weather at first, and that it could be used from a distance. With that much information, start looking at the answer choices. Try to get rid of ones that are definitely wrong. Remember that the sentence says LiDAR technology was. So you need an answer that relates to LiDAR technology itself, not what the LiDAR technology found when it was used by meteorologists. With that in mind, you know that choices A, C, D, and F are not related. Those relate to the Mayan ruins and discoveries about the Mayan culture. Choice B and E are related to the topic, so you need to look at those more closely. Before you do that, I'm going to give you another really important point about the sentence endings. They must be grammatically correct. If they don't make a complete sentence, they are wrong, even if the information in them is correct. So check that out before reading the text again. Choice B makes, when it was first developed, LiDAR technology was monitored storm surges and inundation patterns. That's not a real sentence, since was monitored is not a proper verb form. Now, let's check whether choice E works. When it was first developed, LiDAR technology was primarily used by meteorologists. That looks really good. However, don't select the answer until you confirm that it's correct, based on the information in the text. You only need to check one answer choice here, not all of them, because you eliminated several already. Even though you only have one answer to check this time, it still can take a while to find it in the text. Here comes an important tip, guys. To find the relevant part in the passage fast, look for keywords. Those are words that are unusual, like names, dates, and places. In our sentence, meteorologist is a good word to look for, because it's likely that you will find this word in the passage. Here it is, in the first sentence. It says that meteorologists were among the first to use LiDAR. So now you know that the answer to this question is E. By the way, guys, if this video is helpful to you, do me a favor and hit the like button. Also, comment down below which videos you want to see on this channel. Which IELTS topics do you want me to talk about? I would love to know what you're interested in, so please let me know in the comments. Now, let's have a look at 3 more strategies you can use to solve matching sentence endings questions. Next, since you won't use the answers more than once, it's smart to cross off used answers. If you cross them off as you go, it will make it easier to choose for later questions. Don't forget, if you realize you made a mistake, you can always go back and use that letter again. Moving on to the next question, I want to point out that the correct answer may be found in several sentences, not just one. So it's important to read sentences around the keywords. Don't just look for the keywords and ignore the text around them. If you do that, you may miss important information you need to find the correct sentence ending. Here's the second sentence starter. A 2018 survey of the Mayan civilization showed. We know that the answer can't be E, because we've already used it. If you use choice A, this makes a 2018 survey of the Mayan civilization showed hindered by damage from illegal activities. This is grammatically incorrect. Showed hindered is not a verb. Choice B, monitored storm surges and inundation patterns, is not related to what they found. By contrast, choices C, D, and F look good. You only need to decide between these 3. So what do you do now? You head to the text. Look for the keywords 2018 survey, since the date will not change. Dates are fantastic keywords, guys, because you can find them exactly like this in the passage. Here's the sentence containing the date. That doesn't really help. It only states who did the survey and when the Mayan civilization existed. It doesn't say anything about what the 2018 survey showed. You have to continue reading to find the correct answer. Here's the next sentence. The result was indications of a society far more extensive and culturally complex than formerly presumed. Let's continue to read. The LiDAR maps show man-made reservoirs, irrigation canals, raised roads, pyramids, tombs, and other structures buried by the jungles, thus overturning the prevailing view of the Mayan culture as being centered in a few isolated city-states. Well, that means that the culture was much bigger than they expected, but it was all buried by jungles. Choice D might work, since we really don't know how much was expected. But what about C? There's a trap here, guys, and if you don't pay attention, you can easily fall into it. The passage mentions the words a few isolated city-states, and this is exactly what you can see in answer choice C. But if you read the answer choice and the passage carefully, you can see that C is not the correct sentence ending. C says that the jungles buried remains of a few isolated city-states, but the passage says that the survey overturned the prevailing view of the Mayan culture as being centered in a few isolated city-states. So there were not just a few isolated city-states. Such traps appear very often in IELTS reading. The examiners want to check whether you're only matching words or whether you actually understand what the passage says. Therefore, if you see a word that appears exactly like that in the passage, read the sentence carefully so you make sure you understand what it actually says. And then have a look at the answer choice to see whether this is actually the correct sentence ending. And this also means that choice F is incorrect, because the survey did not show that there had been a limited number of solitary communities. So now you know that choice D is the correct sentence ending. Lastly, you must remember that the questions are usually in order. The answer choices may be random, but the questions themselves are usually in the order you will find them in the passage. That's really useful if you don't understand the meaning of one. You can look in the text in the areas between the other answers in order to solve it. Let's move on to question number 3. The previous view of the Mayan culture in its peak was. Here's the answers we have now. Guys, you already know an important thing about this question. The answer must follow the reference to 2018 in the previous question, because question number 3 talks about the previous view. And what have we just read? That the prevailing view of the Mayan culture as being centered in a few isolated city-states was overturned. The prevailing view is the previous view, right? That's paraphrased. So you know that the view was that the Mayan culture was centered in a few isolated city-states. Let's go back to the answers. Choices A and B are not related. Choice C is really close since it refers to isolated city-states. Choice F is also close since it's a paraphrase. Isolated becomes solitary and city-states becomes communities. But which is correct? You need to look at the sentence prompt more closely. If you read question number 3 carefully, you see that it refers not just to the previous view, but the view of when the culture was in its peak. That means that the view refers to when the culture was alive and thriving, not now when it's gone and buried by jungles. Choice C refers to jungles burying the city-states. It's got lots of keywords, but they're mixed up in the wrong way. That's not the way the society was when it was alive. Therefore, F is the correct sentence ending. Now it's your turn. There is one question left. Investigations into ancient Mayan sites are. Here's the answers you have now. Which one is correct? Use the strategy I mentioned and see if you get it right. Remember to check which sentence endings are grammatically correct and to read the passage closely. You have 1 minute to solve this question. Let's go! Now, time's over. Here comes the solution. The correct answer is A. If you got this one correct, congratulations, well done. If you got this wrong, don't worry. I'm now going to explain why A is correct, and it will become crystal clear to you. Let's quickly run through the remaining answer choices. First, we will have a look at choice B. If you choose B, you get this sentence. Investigations into ancient Mayan sites are monitored storm surges and inundation patterns. This is grammatically incorrect and comes earlier in the text, so choice B is out. What about choice C? The sentence would say, Investigations into ancient Mayan sites are jungles burying remains of a few isolated city-states. So, as you can see, C is logically odd. Investigations are not jungles. Choice A fits because it's grammatically correct and paraphrases the last sentence. It says that the region may be hard to investigate in more detail because the LiDAR maps also show that large portions have been looted or inadvertently damaged by unregistered loggers and narcotics traffickers. This means that the investigations are hindered or blocked by the illegal activities of loggers who are not licensed and narcotics traffickers who are drug dealers. That's it! That's how to solve matching sentence endings questions in IELTS reading. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video!